Hey folks, how's it going? Seth here from REtipster.com, and in this video I wanted to give you a heads up on a educational course I took just recently from a guy named Todd. And if you've been following, the various land investing teachers out there, Scott may be a familiar name and face and voice for you. And if you're totally new to this space, then you've probably never heard of him. In any event, Scott's backstory: he is a fairly experienced land investor, and he has thrown his hat in the ring a few years ago by releasing a couple products. And one of those products is this educational course, which basically teaches you accounting for the land investing business. And the reason I thought this was something worth highlighting is because I frankly don't know of anybody out there right now who is teaching the subject of accounting at all. And I've known Scott has had this course out there for a while, and I've always kind of been interested just to get his take on it and see how he manages his books and what kind of software he uses and that kind of stuff. But it wasn't until just recently when I got a hold of him and asked if I could go through it for free and then put together this kind of a video review for him, and he said, sure, why not? So I was able to go through it for free, and I just wanted to let you know what my thoughts were as I was going through it. I'll give you a quick look at what the course looks like. So if you decide to sign up for this kind of thing, you can get a quick look at what comes with the package. So let's jump into that right now. So if you do decide to sign up for it, the course looks like this. All the content is hosted on another website that he runs called Landmodo, where you can list your properties for sale. But he's got this educational content hosted there. So you'll get an account where you can log into this particular website, and all of the modules are outlined over here. And as you can see, there are 14 modules, and each module is basically just a video. And from what I can tell, I think this was originally recorded as a really long webinar. And then that was recorded and kind of broken out into these 14 videos to create more of a long form course. So I'll just quick give you a look at one of these modules so you can see kind of what it looks like and how he delivers the content.
Welcome to Accounting for Land Investors. For those of you joining me on the in California, West Coast, it's 7 a.m. Man, I am so honored that you guys are awake and decided to share a Saturday with me, going through this type of land investing accounting program. I mean, accounting's never exciting. We're going to try to make it exciting today. So I want to let you know first that it's extremely important that you understand that the material that we're going to cover here today is my own material, meaning that it's material that I've either compiled, it's stuff that I've worked with my accountant to compile, it's stuff that I have, research. I'm going to provide all of this to you today. For those of you that are joining me from last year, there's a lot of material that's kind of the same. There's some material that's a little bit different. I'm going to walk you through some of the changes, but essentially what you're going to find is that this is the program that you need in order to make sure that you are on a good, solid foundation. Look, over on the right side, some of you have already figured out when you couldn't hear me, over on the right-hand side, there's a chat bar. Okay. Make use of it. Okay. Ask questions. I will make sure I'm pausing to review the chat from time to time. So I want to make sure that your questions are getting answered. So make sure that you're asking. Okay. So I'll keep watching over there. If your connection's bad, it's an internet connection. I'm streaming on a good pipe here. So essentially, you just want to hit reconnect in Webinar Jam. And remember, everything today is being recorded. Okay. So again, legal disclaimer. I got to tell you that before you take action on this, especially when it comes to some of the tax tips I'm going to talk about near the end, make sure that you're talking to an accountant or a legal professional, because your situation may be different from mine. So, if something happened and you went to in front of the IRS and you said, well, Scott said to do it, they're going to be like, who's this guy? So understand that you need to make sure that your situation may in fact be different. So you need to make sure that you have a kind of a good plan for you guys. Now, look, I've got a few goals for today. Number one, accounting is a complex topic. I get it. I understand it. We like to joke at Land Geek Boot Camp about, I love numbers and numbers love me. I'm not going to make you guys recite that over and over and over again. However, I will tell you that my goal here is to make sure that I know that it's complex, we're going to slow down and make sure that you get it. Okay. If you don't get it, if you still have questions, no problem. You're going to have access to the Facebook group. Ask questions away. Ask about how to do this. Ask about your journal entries. Ask about whatever we're going to talk about that you're not clear of. And I'm going to make sure that you get the answers that you need. Okay. My number one goal for doing this class, I did it last year and I wanted to do it again this year, is because to me, the financial statements that you produce on a monthly basis are so important to your business. I come from a financial background. I cannot imagine running my business on a month-to-month basis without knowing exactly how much profit, revenue. Revenue is easy. You know how much money is coming in the door. But how much profit are you keeping? And what about these terms deals? And what about all of this stuff? And you hear a lot about, well, am I a dealer? Am I an investor? What am I? We're going to break that down for you so that you can go back and talk to your accountant about it, or that you can go back and research however you are. Maybe you're a do-it-yourselfer. No problem. Go back and research. I'm going to give you the points that you need to do. What I like about accounting is that it's really the language of business, right? Essentially, it's how we keep score in business. How do you know how well you're doing throughout the year? You can look at the revenue coming in. You're like, hey, I'm fantastic. And then I have seen businesses in my career where they think, oh, it's great, man. We got all this money coming in the door every day, but their expenses are out of whack, or this is wrong, or that's wrong. And next thing you know, they wake up to a financial nightmare. And what I want to do is I want to give you the foundation so that you understand, like, this is what it means to have a good set of numbers every single month. How do you do that? We're going to break that down for today. So again, accounting is your scoreboard. It's, in every sport, they keep score. There's a big scoreboard up there. Business is no different. It's called accounting. So that's what we're going to do today. So today's format, today we are going to do hands-on, meaning that I'm going to start off and I'm going to assume that you don't even have an accounting program set up. And I'm going to show you what I use. I'm going to show you how to go about setting it up, because maybe you're just starting out. Maybe you have an accounting system that you're already using. Fantastic. Watch how I'm setting it up, because maybe you can pull something in there, set something up differently for what you're going to do, okay? We're going to look at real case studies. These are real deals. I've changed the names, but I'm going to actually show you the real numbers, and we're going to apply these transactions into our accounting system, okay? I'm going to go through the spreadsheets that I actually use in my business. You're going to get them at the end of it, but I'm going to show you how my bookkeeper, how my accounting people actually use these spreadsheets on it's almost a daily basis that we use these things. And so I'm going to show you how we do that as well. And we're going to learn together how to do this so that you can duplicate it. Now, look, if you're watching this and you're like, man, I do not want to be doing the bookkeeping, because I don't do the bookkeeping in my business. I have a bookkeeper that does it. I found them off of Upwork. Great people on Upwork, but you can find somebody, maybe you want to find them locally. You could give them this training program, give them the video, let them watch it, let them watch and learn what you're about to learn. And then you don't have to do it. You can actually show them how to do it through this material. I'll teach them. And then what you can do is you can go back and double check their work, okay? So look, let me give you an agenda of what's going to happen today, okay? So
as you can see, Scott's a pretty good dynamic speaker. He's kind of fun to listen to. He's good at taking some subject matter that's fairly difficult to stay on track with and a little bit boring to listen to, and making it as lively and as interesting as possible. So kudos to Scott on that. I thought he did a really good job of delivering the information. On the same coin, though, I don't think we can get away from the fact that, like, this is accounting, and if you are a right-brained person, if you have a difficult time paying attention to details and numbers and symbols and stuff like that, which frankly is the way that I am. I had a really, really hard time getting through all my accounting and finance classes in college. If you're anything like that, then I think you should definitely pop a no-dose, get some Red Bull, get some coffee, take it all because you're going to need it. Because as good of a job as Scott does with trying to make this stuff fun, it still ultimately requires that you, as the consumer of the content, are actually attentive and doing the work to understand what he's talking about. That's something that only you can do, and that's just something you'll have to keep in mind if you decide to jump into this kind of course and go through it. Each one of these videos ranges from like 10 to 30-ish minutes in length. So I would say, like, for this kind of thing, if it was me and if I was learning this from scratch, I would probably take like one of these videos a day and not try to knock this all out in one sitting, because, man, I just don't think I would have the attention span to do that. But that's just me. If you're somebody who likes this kind of stuff, maybe you'd be fine. But it's the kind of content where I think you would definitely benefit from actually going through the steps as Scott shows how to do them. And Scott uses an accounting software called Xero, which I have not used myself, but I have heard from several others who have, and I've never heard anybody say anything bad about it. It's kind of like a different version of QuickBooks that is entirely cloud-based. You can pretty much log in from anywhere in the world. It also makes it a little bit easier to share all of your accounting stuff. Say if you have a third party involved, something like Xero makes it really easy to do that. I know there's also options out there, like QuickBooks does have a cloud-based version of their software as well, as does FreshBooks, and I'm sure there's others out there that I'm forgetting. Just so you know, if you want to follow along with what Scott is doing, you'll want to get Xero and make sure that you have an account there as well. And just to give you an idea on the pricing for that, you can see that right here. And I don't recall which plan he uses. I have to imagine if you're just in the getting started phase, this starter plan is probably going to be sufficient for what you need to just get into the system and follow along with Scott. So just so you know about that, that is part of this whole process as well, as working with Xero. In addition to the videos at the very bottom here, he's got a resources section where you can click on that. I think it's right down here. So once you get down here, you can download an Excel spreadsheet that he spends quite a bit of time explaining how to use. And it's basically a tool that can help you calculate your actual profit on installment sales and to help communicate and share things with your accountant and a lot of other stuff. I'm not going to get into all that here, but I think it is a pretty solid spreadsheet that's pretty helpful, and he definitely spends plenty of time explaining how to use this thing and why it's important and helpful in your whole accounting operation. Something else you can get are his PowerPoint documents, which is basically this right here, where he explains how to set up some of the different accounts in your Xero accounting system. He also outlines some tax strategies that you can put to work in the land business, which I actually thought was really helpful, because I know land as a type of real estate asset actually doesn't come with a lot of tax benefits. Like, there is no depreciation write-off, and since we're buying a lot of these properties all cash, there's not like interest payments that you can write off or anything like that. But there are some things just in terms of being an entrepreneur and running your own business, and he kind of covers that stuff right here. So that's fairly helpful. And he's also got a copy of IRS publication 537 in here, where it basically just explains all the ins and outs of how you define an installment sale in the eyes of the IRS, and a lot of other stuff that kind of goes into that. It's some of the most boring reading, I think, available anywhere on the planet. But if you are interested in this kind of stuff and all the technicalities, it outlines all that stuff in this document here. So that's there if you need it. And then last but not least, there is a Facebook group. So if you do sign up for this course, you can go ahead and join that and try to stay connected and communicate with some of the other people who have taken the course. Looks like it's got about 111 members at the time of this recording. So, you know, there's at least a few people in there that I'm sure would be more than happy to chat with you about what they got going on and what they're doing and how they're handling their accounting system. So overall, I thought the course was pretty decent. If you're a total accounting newbie, and I'm sure a lot of new land investors out there do find themselves in that boat, then I don't see how you can go wrong by signing up for something like this and just like devouring as much as you can. And some of it may very well be over your head, but if you're willing to go slow and really follow along step by step with what Scott is doing, I don't see how you can lose, because there is just so much that goes into this whole process, and there's so much to learn. And there's frankly not a lot of good teaching out there, and especially not really any teaching that I know of that talks specifically about accounting in the land investing business. So there's definitely some value to be had here. In terms of things about the course that I thought could be improved, I thought, first of all, just like from an aesthetic viewpoint, this page was a little confusing just in terms of understanding where I was supposed to go. I kind of have like this sidebar over here and then this over here, which is all the exact same stuff. And when I go and click on the lessons, I thought it would have been sort of helpful to have some kind of a written summary beneath the video, maybe with some clickable links if and when they're applicable. And maybe just some kind of a naming scheme to go along with each module so that I have some kind of idea of what is going to be discussed in each module. Like if I want to learn how to do seller financing and how to track payments, or how to run reports, or how to print off checks, or how to do, you name it. I know he covers a ton of this stuff, but I don't really know where. And it would be nice to kind of just know exactly where that stuff is so I could jump right to it. But I don't really have any of that information as it is. So I thought that might be one thing that could be improved. And then the other thing, I know this was recorded as like a big long webinar, which is totally cool, but it looks like that webinar was kind of just like taken as is and sliced into a number of different modules and put on here without a lot of editing done to like take out long silences. And I thought it would have been helpful to kind of like shorten up these videos a little bit just so that they're a little bit shorter and you can kind of get through the meat of the content faster. But with that being said, I will say these videos are set up pretty nicely in that you can speed them up if you want to. So when I was going through these videos, I think I had it running on 1.5 or 1.75. So I could basically just get through it a lot faster. And since I already know a lot of this stuff, I wasn't necessarily watching this to learn for my own sake, but more to understand what content is in the course. It was very nice to have that ability to just kind of speed through these videos whenever I needed to. But other than that, I mean, I thought it was a pretty well put together course that covered a ton of material. A lot of it was super, super helpful, and I think it'll do a lot of good for a lot of people who are interested in this kind of thing. And again, if you do want to go through this, just have a cup of coffee handy and be ready to, pay close attention for long periods of time and actually go through the steps with Scott as he's doing it. Because just speaking for myself, that is definitely the way that I learn the best, is when I'm actually doing it hands-on. And then each of these steps can really stick in my memory as opposed to just watching it and then forgetting it. So if this sounds like something that would be helpful to you, definitely go check it out. We do have an affiliate relationship with Scott, and our affiliate link to this course is right beneath this video if you want to check it out. We do earn a small commission if you sign up for the course through this link. So if you do, thank you very much. And if you don't, that's cool too. I wish you all the best in your journey. And if you're a land investor and you're trying to figure out the accounting thing, I hope you find this helpful. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you next time.